ladies and gentlemen. Success is not born out of one giant leap, but rather the small, consistent steps we take every single day. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that big actions lead to big results. But I want you to reconsider that notion today. Let's talk about the power of small habits. You see, it's not what you do once in a while that counts, but what you do consistently. That's the key. Take a simple example, reading 10 pages of a book every day. Over the course of a year, that's thousands of pages. And the knowledge you gain, that's a transformation waiting to happen. It's easy to overlook the small everyday decisions, but it's those small actions that shape our future. Whether it's exercising for 15 minutes a day, saving a few dollars consistently, or setting aside time to reflect, these habits seem insignificant in the moment. But over time, they compound, building momentum, and before you know it, they lead to extraordinary results. But here's the catch: it takes discipline and patience. Most of us want immediate results. We want to see progress fast. But success from small habits is like planting a seed. You don't see anything for a while, but eventually that seed becomes a tree. The mindset is crucial. When you understand that your daily actions, no matter how small, are investments in your future, you start to see the world differently. You stop waiting for the big break and start focusing on what you can control today. Remember, small habits lead to big results, not just because of what you accomplish, but because of who you become in the process. You become disciplined, focused, and resilient. So start small, stay consistent, and watch how those little habits will turn into massive success. Thank you. Success in life often feels elusive, like it's reserved for those who make grand gestures or massive leaps of faith. But the reality is far more subtle. It isn't about big, life-altering moments. It's about the small, almost unnoticed habits we build and nurture every day. These small actions may seem insignificant on their own, but when repeated consistently over time, they compound into massive results. Think about how easy it is to dismiss a single action. What difference does reading for just 10 minutes make in a day? Or skipping one workout session? What if you save a small amount of money each week? Could that possibly make an impact? The truth is, individually, these actions might seem like they don't matter. But over time, these small daily efforts compound, building momentum and stacking up in ways that are often hard to see until later. That's the essence of small habits, tiny, consistent actions that lead to monumental change. Let's consider a practical example: improving your health. Many people believe that transforming their health requires a radical overhaul of their diet and exercise routine. They set lofty goals, perhaps deciding to run 5 miles every morning or eliminate sugar entirely from their diet. But what happens more often than not is burnout. They can't maintain the extreme change, and soon they give up altogether, often reverting to old habits. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life in a week, you commit to something small and manageable. Perhaps it's a 15-minute walk each morning. That's doable, right? It's small, simple, and sustainable. It doesn't feel overwhelming. You're not running a marathon, just walking for 15 minutes. It might not feel like much, but over the course of a year, that habit will lead to hours of movement, improved cardiovascular health, and a general sense of well-being. Eventually, you might find that 15 minutes turns into 30 because the habit itself has built momentum. This is how small habits work. They grow over time. The power lies not in their size, but in their consistency. That's why we often hear the phrase consistency is key, but the deeper truth is that small habits become powerful because they are sustainable. It's easier to walk 15 minutes every day than to run 5 miles every morning, especially if you're not used to it. That 15-minute walk is something you can do no matter what the weather is, no matter how tired you are. And the result? Over time, you see massive benefits without the burnout. Small habits also teach us a crucial lesson about discipline. It's not about showing up perfectly, but about showing up consistently. That's the mindset shift that small habits encourage. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to show up day after day for that small action. The compound effect takes care of the rest. Think about finances. If someone saves just a small portion of their income every week, it might seem insignificant at first, but over months, that small amount grows into something substantial. The habit of saving, like the habit of exercise or reading or anything else, compounds over time. The small, consistent efforts grow into something much larger than you could have anticipated at the start. Even in learning, the principle of small habits holds true. Reading for just 10 minutes a day might not seem like it's going to change your life. But imagine reading for 10 minutes every day for a year. That's over 60 hours of reading. Imagine how much knowledge you could gain in that time. And again, it's not about spending hours every day. It's about small, manageable increments that accumulate over time. What small habits also do is create a snowball effect. As you experience success with one habit, it becomes easier to add more. Maybe your 15-minute walk becomes a 30-minute walk. Maybe your 10 minutes of reading turns into 20. The key is that small habits create momentum, and momentum is powerful. It builds upon itself. Once you see results, even small ones, it motivates you to keep going, to keep building, to keep improving. And so the idea that small habits don't matter couldn't be further from the truth. They are, in fact, the foundation for long-term success. Small habits create consistency. Consistency creates momentum. And momentum leads to big results. When you focus on these small, manageable actions and repeat them daily, you'll find that over time, the results are monumental, not just in what you achieve, but in who you become along the way. Building small habits requires two essential qualities that often go overlooked: discipline and patience. While many people are eager to see results quickly, the truth is that meaningful progress is rarely instant. It takes time, persistence, and a willingness to keep going, even when the results aren't immediately visible. That's why the development of small habits is such a powerful approach. It forces us to slow down, to focus on the process, and to cultivate the discipline and patience needed for lasting success. Discipline is the foundation. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. This is especially true when it comes to small habits. When you commit to something simple, like meditating for 5 minutes a day, it doesn't seem like a huge task. But there will be days when you don't feel like doing it. Maybe you're tired, busy, or just not in the mood. This is where discipline comes in. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about honoring the commitment you made to yourself. It's about showing up, regardless of external circumstances. What discipline does is build trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a small habit, you prove to yourself that you're capable of sticking with something. This builds self-confidence and reinforces the idea that you can rely on yourself to achieve your goals, no matter how small they may seem. It's a gradual process, but over time, you'll notice that your ability to stay disciplined in one area of your life starts to spill over into others. That's the beauty of small habits. They create a ripple effect. But discipline alone is not enough. Patience is equally critical. In today's fast-paced world, we're conditioned to expect instant gratification. We want results, and we want them now. But when it comes to small habits, the results often take time to manifest. This can be frustrating, especially if you don't see immediate progress. However, patience is the understanding that good things take time. It's the ability to keep going, even when you don't see immediate rewards. Let's take a common example: learning a new skill, like playing an instrument. In the beginning, progress is slow. You might practice for weeks or even months without feeling like you're getting significantly better. But if you stick with it, if you practice a little bit each day, there comes a moment when everything clicks. You look back and realize just how far you've come. This is the reward of patience. It's the ability to delay gratification, knowing that the payoff will come later. The combination of discipline and patience creates a powerful synergy. Discipline keeps you consistent, ensuring that you show up every day and do the work. Patience helps you stay focused on the long-term goal rather than getting discouraged by a lack of immediate results. Together, they form the backbone of any successful habit-building process. Another aspect of patience is recognizing that setbacks are part of the journey. There will be days when you slip up. You might miss a workout or fall off track with your reading habit. This is where patience becomes crucial. Instead of beating yourself up or giving up altogether, patience allows you to see setbacks for what they are: temporary challenges. It's about picking yourself back up and continuing the journey, rather than letting a small mistake derail your progress. In many ways, patience is also about perspective. It's understanding that small habits are not about immediate results, but about the long game. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see big changes right away, but when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you start to see the cumulative effect of your efforts. The small, seemingly insignificant actions you take every day begin to add up. Over time, they lead to big results. The key is to trust the process. Discipline gets you started, but patience keeps you going. It's about finding satisfaction in the act of doing rather than constantly chasing the outcome. When you approach small habits with this mindset, you realize that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to build new habits is staying motivated. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. What really matters is your ability to stay disciplined when the motivation fades, and your willingness to be patient as you wait for the results to appear. This is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. In the end, small habits are a test of both discipline and patience. They require you to show up consistently even when you don't feel like it, and to keep going even when the results aren't immediately obvious. But if you can cultivate these two qualities, the payoff is enormous. Small habits, when practiced with discipline and patience, have the power to create massive, long-lasting change in your life. Success begins with a shift in mindset, and small habits are the perfect gateway to this transformation. Most people think that success requires drastic, sweeping changes, a complete overhaul of their lifestyle, or a sudden breakthrough. But the truth is, sustainable success is built on small, daily improvements that compound over time. To truly understand the power of small habits, you must first change the way you think about growth and progress. The mindset that small habits encourage is one of gradual improvement rather than instant results. In a world where quick fixes and overnight success stories are glorified, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that major transformations happen all at once. But this is rarely the case. Behind every story of success lies a series of small, consistent actions that eventually add up to something great. The mindset shift is about recognizing the value in these small steps and understanding that they are the building blocks of long-term achievement. When you adopt a mindset focused on small, daily improvements, you begin to view success as a process rather than a destination. Instead of waiting for the big break or the perfect opportunity, you realize that you have control over the small actions you take every day. This shift in thinking empowers you to take responsibility for your own progress. No longer are you dependent on external factors or waiting for life to change in a dramatic way. You understand that by making small, consistent changes, you can gradually create the life you want. This mindset shift also helps you manage your expectations. One of the biggest reasons people give up on their goals is because they expect results too quickly. They start a new habit, whether it's exercising, learning a new skill, or saving money, and after a few weeks, they don't see the dramatic results they were hoping for. This leads to frustration, and often they quit altogether. But when you approach success with the mindset that small improvements are the key, you become more patient with yourself. You understand that progress takes time, and you start to appreciate the journey rather than fixating on the destination. Another important aspect of this mindset shift is the focus on what you can control. Many people get discouraged because they spend too much time worrying about things outside their control. They compare themselves to others, get frustrated by setbacks, or feel overwhelmed by the size of their goals. But small habits teach you to focus on what you can control today. You may not be able to achieve your big goal overnight, but you can take one small step toward it right now. This shift in focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable is incredibly liberating. It reduces stress and anxiety and helps you stay focused on the task at hand. The mindset that small habits cultivate is also one of resilience. When you commit to small, manageable changes, you are more likely to stick with them, even in the face of challenges. That's because small habits are easier to maintain than big, drastic changes. They don't require as much willpower or motivation. Over time, as you build consistency with your small habits, you develop a sense of resilience. You become someone who is capable of sticking with something, even when it gets tough. This resilience is crucial for long-term success because no journey is without obstacles. Another benefit of shifting your mindset to focus on small habits is that it reduces the pressure you put on yourself. When you believe that success requires massive effort, it's easy to get overwhelmed and procrastinate. You feel like you need to make a huge change or achieve something monumental before you can start seeing results. But small habits take the pressure off. They allow you to focus on making small improvements without feeling like you need to change your entire life overnight. This reduction in pressure makes it easier to take action because the steps you're taking feel manageable and realistic. What's more, this mindset shift creates a sense of momentum. Success is not a straight line, it's a series of small wins that build on each other over time. Each small habit you build, each daily action you take adds to that momentum. As you start to see progress, no matter how small, you gain confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. This momentum is powerful because it keeps you moving forward, even when the results are not immediately visible. Over time, the small wins accumulate, and you begin to see the big results that you've been working toward. Ultimately, the shift in mindset from focusing on big changes to small daily improvements is what leads to sustainable success. It's not about achieving perfection or making massive leaps forward. It's about committing to small, consistent actions that compound over time. When you embrace this mindset, you begin to see success as something within your control, something you can build day by day, step by step. And that's where true transformation happens. It's not in the grand gestures or the overnight changes, but in the small habits that over time lead to big results.